In the last lecture, I highlighted why we want to set up a project which gives us some additional features which make our life as a developer easier. Now, as I also mentioned, there is a tool which creates such a project for us. It's called Create React App, and you can simply Google for it to find a link to its official GitHub repository. As I said, it's maintained by basically Facebook or a community around Facebook, so it's the officially recommended tool for creating React projects. On that GitHub page, you will find installation instructions and a detailed explanation about what it does and how it works. Feel free to read through that, but of course you're also going to learn all about that throughout this course. So let's start with the installation. We install it globally with npm, and npm is simply Node's package manager, a tool you automatically get when installing Node.js, which makes it easy to manage third-party packages, other JavaScript packages in the end, and Create React App is just such a package. To use npm, you need to install Node.js, which you can download and install from nodejs.org. Now, there you should pick the latest version, 8.5 in my case here, but if you're facing any issues with that, also try out version 6.11 or whatever the long-term support version is in your case when you're viewing this page. Now, no worries. We're not going to write any Node.js code here. You don't need to know Node.js. We only need it to use its package manager and also for this development server, which will be spun up for us automatically. So simply click these buttons, download Node.js, and it will spin up an installer through which you can walk. Once you did finish the installation, you should be able to run the npm command here on your machine. So let's do this together in the next step. To install Create React App through npm, you should go into the terminal or command prompt of your machine. And there you can now run npm install. This is available since we installed Node. Then Create React App, one word with dashes between the sub-words, and then -g. This flag at the end installs it globally on our machine so that we can run it anywhere on the machine, which of course is what we want to do because we want to be able to create new React projects wherever we want. Now, on Mac and Linux, you might need to add a sudo in front of all of that to get the right permissions of running this command. And if you do add it, you're probably prompted for your password too. Now, once you did enter it, and again, this is not required on Windows, you will install Create React App on your machine. Once this is finished, you can start creating new React projects with it. The command can also be found on this GitHub page I showed you earlier, here, but we'll of course run it together. You simply run Create React App, so the package name in the end, and then the name of the app. This will be the name of the folder which gets created, where the default configuration and a lot of starting files will be placed in. I will name it React Complete Guide, but you can name it whatever you want. Hit enter, and this will automatically create the folder and install all the dependencies it needs. As you can see here already, that is React itself, React DOM to access the DOM, and React Scripts, which is a package bundling all these different tools I was referring to on the slide in the last lecture. Once this setup finished, you can navigate into this newly created folder with cd and then the name of the project you chose, in my case React Complete Guide, and in there simply run npm start. Now for me it's showing yarn start and all these yarn commands because I have yarn installed, an alternative to npm, but you don't need that. You can just run npm start. And this will now spin up a development server and open a new page already. This page here. This is the starting page this project gives you. It is basically the starting point. We will start editing it later on. And you should always keep this process you started with npm start running. This is the development server I was referring to, which loads your application on the browser, simulates it to run as on a real web page, and reloads the page whenever you change the code. You can also find the address where it's serving it here in the terminal. So always keep this process running if you're working on your application. If you want to close it, you can always do this with Ctrl+C, but then you will not be able to visit this page here again. Now, with that, we got our project set up. Let's now have a look at what's inside there and what was created for us in the next lecture.